So stage 2 of modern endocrine's 10 stages to ultimate health is gut health. So gut health is very broad, but what we want to discuss is the connection between the gut and the immune system, but also gut and mental health, and then gut and hormones. Your gut is astronomically important in the rest of your body. So we talk about, the gut-brain connection, and people say, I have gut feelings. That is all because there is so much connection between your gut and your brain. It's been proven, it's been shown. There's a lot of pharmaceutical companies now looking at medications that actually target gut flora and gut health. So that's why we've chose to focus on gut as the second thing. So every time you eat something, anytime you provide nutrients to your body, you are either helping or harming your body, okay? It's either you're helping or you're hurting. Ideally, you're providing good, nutritious sources of, food so that your body can function. But the problem is a lot of our food is sick. So a ton of our food is just, there's no nutrients in it, there's toxins, there's chemicals. And so it causes inflammation in our gut, and then our body can't absorb that. The other thing is our body was made like a very well-oiled machine. So every part of our body in our GI tract has a process that it's supposed to be undergoing, right? So our stomach is very acidic so that it can kill anything that we accidentally swallow, bacteria, things like that. And then we make acid in our stomach, which also helps with the digestion process. And then as foods leave our stomach and they enter our, small intestine, most of the food is supposed to be digested. But sometimes when our stomach isn't acidic like it's supposed to be, because we either have infections like H. pylori, or millions of people are on antacids, right? So omeprazole and Nexium and Prilosec and all these things you take over the counter because you have heartburn, then your stomach's not able to do what it's supposed to do. And so you get all this undigested food that leaves your stomach into your small intestine. The problem with that is our small intestine wasn't made to digest a lot of these foods, carbohydrates, things like that. And so then the bacteria in our small intestine go crazy because now it's getting all of this nutrient, all these carbohydrates, this glucose stuff that's coming into our small intestine that usually has already been absorbed. And so we have this massive overgrowth of bad bacteria in our small intestine. So a lot of you have heard of small bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, things like that. This is because we have undigested food that makes it to our small intestine. And so the process of digestion is just not working correctly because of issues in our stomach. And when this doesn't happen correctly and you have overgrowth of bad bacteria in your small intestine, you start getting symptoms. So you'll have bloating, obviously you'll have malabsorption issues. Some people get diarrhea, some people get constipation. And when you get this imbalance of what's growing in your small intestine and your stomach and the rest of your GI tract, then we have issues with, again, absorption. We absorb things like tryptophan in our gut, which helps us make neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin, which are really important for our mood. And so everything that happens in our gut is very important and happens for a reason. Things that are absorbed in certain parts of our gut are absorbed there for a reason. And so if we're having issues with that, it can grossly affect your mood, and then it can affect things downstream in your gut. So this is where we really need to focus on the good, bad bacteria in our gut and parasites and infections. This is why a lot of times stool studies are needed. Is our gallbladder giving the support that our stomach needs to digest food? Is our pancreas giving the support needed to digest, fats? And so same thing with our gallbladder, are we able to digest fats correctly? And so it's really important to look at this, because if not, it throws off a balance of what is being absorbed, what's being digested, and then what can be made. And there is a huge, so we do make serotonin, we make dopamine, we make a lot of hormones that have to do with anxiety and depression and stress from our gut. And so if you can't absorb these things in your gut, they're not being made correctly. So there's a huge correlation between gut health and anxiety and depression, but also gut health in your immune system. So if you've got things leaking out of your GI tract because you've got inflammation from what you've eaten, and so they leave your GI tract, your immune system comes to that immediately and says, oh my gosh, what is this? What is this complex of Red 40 and this complex of, all of these toxins that you're eating? And your immune system starts focusing on that, and it's trying to figure out, am I being assaulted by something from the outside, or what's going on? And it's usually just inflammation from what you've eaten, but your immune system has put all this energy into that. And so then it doesn't have the energy to go circulate the rest of your body and make sure that we don't have viruses or bacteria or misfolded cells or cancer starting, because it's just spent a ton of energy on your actual, your GI tract. And so that's why we want to feed our body a lot of different foods, because then also our gut flora will be different. And the wider range of gut flora that we have and healthy flora, then that helps feed our immune system and make our immune system work better. And so there is this huge connection between your gut and your brain because of the serotonin, the dopamine. There's also a huge connection between your gut and your immune system as well. And there are ways you can fix this, fixing the quality and the quantity of food you eat, but there are also probiotics. There are things that you can take to help balance out your gut. I love a lot of peptide therapy with gut as well. So you can do some gut peptide therapy, KPV, BPC. I like sodium butyrate, just depending on what's going on with your gut. There's a lot of things we can work on in calming down your gut. So getting rid of any infections you have, restoring your bacteria and your microbiome to where it should be, and then going in and reseeding and regenerating and just stopping the inflammation in your GI tract.